In this video, we're looking at 7 lyrics that will hit you so hard you'll want to go full interstellar mode and smash a window trying to warn your younger self of your old ways. The songs in question may come wrapped in dreamy melodies, but casually hiding in the packaging is a little existential crisis waiting to catch you unawares. I know, what's the point of poking the bear, but I say what better place to poke it than with me, the disembodied voice in the void. Plus, in the end, we might even befriend the existential beast. And bear in mind, sorry that's terrible, that this isn't a definitive list, so feel free to drop your favourite nuggets of wisdom in lyrical form down below. Oh, and if you saw last week's video, consider this the next round. Number 1, Mac Miller.
I was drowning, but now I'm swimming. Too stressful waters to relief.
With this line from Miller's aptly titled song Come Back to Earth, he wants to bring himself back to reality, fed up with the volatility of the highs and the lows, whether it's drowning in depression or flying high in the clouds. Neither of which can be maintained for very long until, like a rubber band, you snap to the other extreme, so fast that true equilibrium is only a phantom. So where is this middle ground, and how can we reach it? Miller realises that what gives him more meaning and stability is to swim through stressful waters. Along the same lines is this quote by the psychologist Carl Jung. If you're a fan of my channel, you know I can't resist linking him to anything. Anyway, he says, "No tree can grow to heaven unless its roots reach down to hell." So, likewise, swimming in the stressful waters is the only way to meaningfully progress. Robert Smith from The Cure has the balance right when he sang on a strange day, don't worry I won't sing it, move slowly through drowning waves. However, as is the urge of being human, knowing what we should do doesn't guarantee success by any means, and expecting flawless results is a recipe for disaster, as Mac Miller's untimely death unfortunately proves. There's a line I like by the Russian writer Dostoyevsky, who has a knack for hiding a savage roast within poetic words. Such immediate expectation of something extraordinary shows a levity possible to worldly people, but is unseemly in us. Next up is Alex Turner from the Arctic Monkeys with this genius slice of wisdom.
But as long as you still keep pepper in the pill, you'll find a way to spit it out again.
We're professionals at moving the goalposts, creating excuses out of thin air for ourselves to avoid what we know we should be doing. What Turner's getting at is how easy it is to become excuse-making machines, particularly at times when we run before walking, picking something that's way too difficult and finding an excuse to spit out the pill and justify pursuing an empty pleasure that's easier instead. Like this guy eating a whole plate of ricotta, as you do, although they do seem like they're having a blast, so I shouldn't judge. If we used the energy that we put into concocting the perfect excuse, we'd get anything done. As the French absurdist Albert Camus said, "We are all exceptional cases. We all want to appeal against something. Each of us insists on being innocent at all costs, even if he has to accuse the whole human race and heaven itself." Returning to the lyric, it's like we pepper the pill and pretend some external factor is stopping us in our tracks so we can wipe our hands with it and move on. But no shortcoming is ever as bad as the means we go of covering our tracks. To quote Jung again, people will do anything, no matter how absurd, to avoid facing their own souls. Number 3, David Byrne from the Talking Heads.
Know where we're going, but we don't know where we've been. And we know what we're knowing, but we can't say what we've seen.
For context, David Byrne wanted to write a song that presented a resigned, even joyful look at doom. With Byrne beginning with the line, "Well, we know where we're going," he's talking about the inevitability of death. But incorporating the title of the song, Road to Nowhere, only brings more questions, as it sounds like a paradox. How can we know when it's nowhere we're heading? What I think he means is that whilst we don't know what comes after death, we're fully aware it's coming, and part of the complete cycle of life. It's like we've been told there's a surprise party in our house, and we've been blindfolded and ushered to the door. The line that comes after this is, "But we don't know where we've been." This tracks with a surprise party analogy, as being blindfolded, you don't know the route you took. Life can come at us so thick and fast that we may as well be blindfolded, blind to the signs and unreceptive of what we have until it's gone. To quote them again, we might suddenly think, "How did I get here?" when we're already deep into living a traditional suburban life. Why is it so easy to plan where we're going, but when it comes to knowing if we'll regret it in the future, we're blind to the signs? Well, this is where the next lyric comes in by Kanye, where he talks candidly about keeping up with the speed of life.
Seems like street lights glowing happen to be just like moments passing in front of me. So I hopped in the cab and I paid my fare. See, I know my destination, but I'm just not there.
With this, he's comparing the continuous fleeting flickering of streetlights to his own life, moving past him at an uncontrollable pace. If we're moving at this speed, we tend to live every day without taking a breath to appreciate what we have. From moving at such a blistering pace driving through our own life, memories pass by into the rearview mirror, fading into obscurity. Also, sometimes there's more intention behind blocking out memories if they bring up uncomfortable feelings. But as Jung says, final quote from him I promise, what you resist not only persists, but will grow in size. So, best to tackle them head on. Number 5, David Bowie.
I'm sinking in the quicksand of my thought, and I ain't got the power anymore.
Here Bowie's talking about sinking into the pit of overthinking, likening the struggle to being in quicksand. If you're in quicksand, the more you struggle, the worse it gets. Likewise, the more attention you give to your spiralling thoughts, the more they spread and pollute your mind, warping every life decision you make. No matter what your decision is, when you overthink it, it's like the meme of the guy picking a button. Sinking into the pit of overthinking can be a result of life's overwhelming freedom of choice. The French existentialist Sartre describes this as nausea, or existential anguish. This either leads to a life of inaction or, crucially, too much action, never patient of seeing any one possibility through. Both outcomes will cause you to sink deeper into the quicksand of your mind. So, how can we escape? An easy solution is to lean into absurdism. Now, I have to mention Camus here, sorry not sorry. He would say the best course of action is to zoom out and realise how many people there are and how little you are in comparison. As soon as we embrace our limited view and laugh at the absurdity of it all, the sooner we'll stop sinking into the quicksand, as we'll see how silly our gripes really are. Number 6, Leonard Cohen. There is a crack in everything. That's how the light gets in. With this, Cohen's critiquing the trappings of perfection and how imperfection's where it's at. I know the topic of perfection's so tired, talking about it feels like flogging a dead horse at this point, so let's cut to the chase. Simply put, we can't resist obsessing over something until it's perfect, or more accurately, gives the illusion of perfection. The consequence of this obsession is that we'll lose sight of the beauty of imperfection, or we'll not even bother trying because we'd rather not try than do what we deem to be a substandard version. If we only focus on the results being perfect, we'll overbake ideas until the quality's dried up and devoid of any character. In music, we call it being overproduced, or in sports, teams can be overcoached so that any risk or flair is trained or rather drained out of them. There's nothing authentic about perfection either. In film or TV, if a character's without flaws, we can't connect with them, and likewise, if we present ourselves as perfect specimens, we'll be unreachable. When you're honest about the cracks in your personality, as long as it's at the right time and place, i.e. not at a funeral, your security in yourself will shine through. The light will get in, as Cohen puts it. Anyway, this section stopped being brief 3 sentences ago, so let's move on to the final lyric from the genius that is Bob Marley.
Don't gain the world and lose your soul. Wisdom is better than silver and gold.
With this, Bob's warning us about the dangers of trading your soul in exchange for material pleasures. In Marley's words, money is numbers and numbers never end. If it takes money to be happy, your search for happiness will never end. Something to keep in mind is that a poor person who's uncorrupted by low pleasures or desires is spiritually richer than the greedy rich man is. This is because they're not bound by their desires and as a result can maintain their virtues of being respectful, humble and appreciative of the little that they have. Throughout his career, Bob Marley's always had a bone to pick with greedy rich people because they fall short of this target, being obsessed with status, money and other superficial desires. Dostoyevsky has a term for these kinds of people, he calls them peasants corrupted. I know nowadays peasant's a word rarely used, only by particularly egregious rich people, but hey, he was writing 200 years ago. We know these types of people, the ones who hoard their wealth and rarely help others. In many cases, they don't even know how to spend their wealth themselves. Eventually, this selfishness will leave them unfulfilled and empty of compassion. So, what makes a man? In Bob's words, the greatness of a man is not in how much wealth he acquires, but in his integrity and his ability to affect those around him positively. I'm about to do something never done before and combine a quote from Dostoyevsky with a lyric from Kate Bush. Find joy in deeds of light and mercy. These moments given are a gift from time. Just let us try to give these moments back to those we love. Thanks for watching, and if you want more where this came from, check out my overthinking playlist to quiet the noisy mind. See you next time.